What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of the Shots Fired podcast with DP. I am the aforementioned DP, or Despop, aka Jay Simino, and today is 8 July 2026. I took yesterday off to focus on the Robinson hearing because court has always fascinated me. Back when I worked homicide, the most difficult part of any case was the trial. Difficult, but addictive. I could watch trials all damn day and night. I learned what to look for, what was relevant or irrelevant. I could even predict when an objection was coming. So, with this case, in order to comment on it, I didn't want to miss a single syllable. The only thing that matters is what is presented in court, not what is spewed by grifting cunts online. The only thing that matters is what is presented under oath. And there are so many faggots out there claiming to care for Charlie that are actually rooting for his killer. And I hate these motherfuckers. What do? Why do they do it? Clicks, views, reposts, narcissism. And it's not just that hoa Candace Owens. Take this loser, for instance, Stu Peters. Defense. Wasn't there also another bullet found on a different building? Agent Hull. Yes. Defense. Was that considered a scene worth preserving? Agent Hull. It was not. See, he left out the part when the officer stated that they discovered the source of the unspent round. It was from another cop. So no, it wasn't worth preserving. It's completely fucking irrelevant. But faggots are gonna fag. Stewart, go blow your dad. There's no bigger grifter right now than Ian fucking Carroll, Candace's own lapdog with his pedo mustache. Ian apparently is a master in forensic science. These are the losers that say, I don't want to hear from any of you who say I've seen bullets do some weird shit. Imagine saying that. You don't want to hear from those of us who have done this for a living and who have in fact seen bullets act just as they did in this case. They think that only simple physics apply and care nothing about forensic science. Big bullet go boom. I'd like to hear his opinion on the MLK 30 round that entered his jawline neck area and didn't exit his body. Nope, instead it was pulled from his lower right back area. Kinda just like Charlie, right? I thought that wasn't possible, Ian. You're a cunt. You can also go blow your dad. Now, Liz Wheeler points out that you're about to hear some shit from the cunt community about there being no video of the shooting. Except that's not what those of us who actually listened to the testimony heard. Nope, the context was about a single video. The judge does not want to show anything graphic to the entire courtroom. This is just a preliminary hearing. The judge was inquiring about a single video clip which the prosecution wanted to show, and did that clip show the actual shooting? The answer to that question was no. Yet, all day yesterday, all you saw from the homos was, there's no video of the shooting. They must have missed the part where the judge watched a video of the shooting that had previously not been shown to the public. Well, he almost threw up on the bench. Check it out. That's the judge watching some 4K video that none of us have seen yet with the actual shooting. What about all the posts we saw yesterday about an officer's body camera battery dying when he was on the roof? How many faggots did you see post, a body cam battery lasts 12 to 14 hours, therefore Robinson is innocent? Huh? What the ever-loving fuck, people? But the defense attorney didn't ask the officer, how long had you been working that day? I often worked up to 32 hours straight. This was an overtime event for that officer. Who the fuck knows when he last charged the damn thing? But nope, that must prove it right there. It had to be BB, right? Remember when Candace Owens said 1,000,000 times that Tyler Robinson wasn't even on campus? Well, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Except video has him all over the fucking campus, numerous times, coming and going, changing his clothing, walking with a limp for no apparent reason other than maybe, I don't know, a fucking rifle stuffed down his pants leg. She said he was never even there. Now we're going back to Captain Faggotron, Stu Peters, bitching about the scene being excavated and paved over. How long do you think a crime scene is preserved for? Are you that fucking retarded, bro? They're not held forever. In fact, imagine the police re-examining the crime scene, let's say 3 weeks later, and finding the smoking gun. Douchebags like Stewart would have immediately screamed, "That's planted evidence, right? Like, why didn't they find that evidence the first 3 days that the scene was secured?" These losers are talking out of both sides of their ass for clicks. They don't give a shit about Charlie. How about this piece of shit going, "Oh, the Jews, the Jews, the Jews," and one of my replies, "Get the fuck out of here, dipshit. I'm not saying there is no greater conspiracy, but Robinson is still the shooter. You want him to walk for what? You think they're going after BB next? You dumbass. This is it. No one else is being charged. Robinson pulled the trigger, but you losers are willing to blow it all up and get him a walk for what? For something you can never prove? You douchebags base all of your beliefs on what is not known, what has not been shared with us. You distrust everything because you're not a trustworthy person yourself. You're a piece of shit. Therefore, everyone else must be as well. Right? The only people owed the evidence are judge and jury. Not us, certainly not you. You all need to be Thanos snapped out of fucking existence. You and your entire fucking bloodlines. I'd love to see you all on prayer cards. Stu Peters, Candace Owens, Ian fucking Carroll, Lionel, Trisha Hope, even Hobie Dick. Fuck you all, and please, I beg you, go blow your dads. Okay, end of rant. Now, it's time for the final call. On this date, July 8th, back in 2019, Deputy Sheriff Nicholas Dixon of the Hall County Sheriff's Office, Georgia, was shot and killed following a vehicle pursuit of a stolen vehicle at approximately 11:15 p.m. The vehicle was believed to have been connected to several burglaries and car break-ins over the previous days. A vehicle pursuit started when deputies attempted to stop it. 4 juvenile suspects fled on foot after the car crashed. Deputy Dixon pursued one of the suspects and exchanged shots with him in the 600 block of Highland Avenue. Deputy Dixon was fatally shot during the exchange. The suspect was seriously wounded. Deputy Dixon was transported to a local hospital where he died shortly after midnight. Second suspect was apprehended approximately 8 hours later. The 2 remaining suspects were apprehended the following day. 3 of the juvies were convicted of murder, July 2021, and sentenced to life in prison. The 4th juvie has been charged with murder. The last subject was sentenced to 17 years in prison in August 2021. Deputy Dixon had served with the Hall County Sheriff's Office for 3 years. He is survived by his wife, 2 sons, parents, 2 brothers, and grandparents. Also on this date, back in 1938, Patrolman Robert Wehagen of the Cleveland PD, Ohio, was stabbed by an escaped mental patient as he entered an apartment. Patrolman Wehagen and other officers responded to the butcher shop where the escaped mental patient lived, threatened his wife, daughter, and godson, which was overheard by the upstairs neighbor who called the police. Then shoot everyone out and locked himself in the apartment. The officers obtained the key from his wife, and as he was opening the door, Patrolman Wehagen was stabbed in the abdomen. As he fell to the floor, he was able to spray the man in the face with tear gas. The suspect was subsequently shot by other officers and died at the hospital. Patrolman Wehagen was taken to Lutheran Hospital for surgery. The knife had severed his intestines in 5 places, and he died while in surgery. Patrolman Wehagen was a United States Army World War I veteran and had served with the Cleveland PD for 18 years. He was survived by his wife and parents. Lastly, on this date, back in 1910, Deputy Marshal Carl Etherton, Granville PD, Ohio, was lynched by an angry mob because of his enforcement of prohibition laws. Licking County, Ohio, had voted to become a dry county, which angered many residents of Newark. Many politicians, including the county sheriff, ignored the law and refused to serve warrants issued of violations of liquor laws. As a result, Granville mayor deputized numerous deputy marshals, giving them county-wide jurisdiction. Deputy Marshal Etherton and other officers attempted to serve a warrant at a saloon. They encountered an angry mob. As the deputy marshals attempted to escape for their own protection. The group of men captured Deputy Marshal Etherington. To protect himself, he shot and killed one of the men who was a former police officer with Newark. The mob severely beat Deputy Etherington, who was then arrested and beaten further by Newark police officers. He was taken to the county jail, where a mob of approximately 5,000 citizens learned of the shooting. They removed him from the jail, hanged him from a telephone pole near the intersection of 2nd Street and South Park Place. 20 citizens were eventually arrested and convicted of his murder. It was later learned that Deputy Marshal Etherington was only 17 years old. He was survived by his parents and one sibling. May they all continue to rest in peace. And we'll finish, as we always do, with the timeline cleanse. But before we do, to all those out there struggling with that demon, remember to stop, breathe, survive. Later, bitches.
Get him, Jay. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
You got DP'd.